Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon when you're watching this screencast of my creative uses of innovative technology. Two examples for EDU709, Professor Zhang's class at CMU. You're looking here at my wiki created in PBWiki for the course. So I'm going to show you first how I kind of created my my uses of technology and kind of walk you through the creation and then show you the result. The first one I want to show you is fairly straightforward. I used here's my my Google Drive, and I used a spreadsheet to create review of Chinese characters. The reason I use a spreadsheet is because I can embed it in the wiki, and when I need to update it, I simply come and update the spreadsheet. I can copy it, I can manipulate it, and because it's embedded, no one else can touch the spreadsheet. They can go into the wiki, so students can access the wiki, but they can't touch the spreadsheet because the spreadsheet exists in Google Docs, in Google Drive, and not in the wiki per se. It's embedded. So what I did was created this spreadsheet, and basically the way it works is students read one cell at a time and work their way down. So here are the instructions, and then they go down to the first one and read it, and they won't be able to see, as I'll show you in a moment on the wiki, they won't actually be able to see the subsequent cell with the answers. So the first one says here, write the characters for he and you. What is the radical? So the answer is those two characters, and the third one is the radical. So the idea is that they work through this by giving answers and then going to the next step, and this basically continues on and on and on for quite a while. It should probably be a good 20-minute review. Obviously, if they don't know the answer, they can simply go to the next cell and get the answer. So if they're stuck, they can have the answer. The answer is right there for them. As long as they're working through and making an attempt at it, then they're going to get a good review of these characters. This is for beginning level Chinese. So what this looks like is this. It's the same spreadsheet, but you can see here it's embedded into the wiki. And although anyone can, in theory, come in, although of course I can lock this page, but they can't really touch the spreadsheet. It's embedded. It doesn't really exist in the wiki. And here you can see they can only see one cell at a time. So as they work down, they write on a separate piece of paper as per the instructions. They write the answers and then work their way down and see, yes, I got it right. No, I didn't get it right. They go to the next one. Again, another set of instructions. Change the radical on he to make she. It looks like that. What other four characters do we know with the same radical? Etc. And then they work their way down until they finally, and as I said, it's a good 15-20 minutes, depending upon how quickly the student works through it. But eventually they get to the bottom. I'll just scroll all the way down, and it says, you've made it this far. You've done a great job. At this point, to indicate that you are done, we would say, voilà, which they should know. But again, if they don't know anything at any point, they can simply go through it. And of course, they can go back and forth and use it to review. So there's my first use of technology, embedding the spreadsheet into the wiki. As I said, nice thing is I can always update the spreadsheet. I can share the spreadsheet with people, and it will automatically update here as well. As soon as I update it in the Google Docs, it will update here as well. My second use of my second innovative use of technology. Actually, I'll show you the result first. It's basically a Chinese placement test. And what I've done here is I've taken this idea of embedding and I've taken it a step further because placement tests take a lot of time on the part of a teacher. The idea here is to make the placement test independent. That is, a student can sit down and do it on their own without the teacher's supervision, leaving the teacher the time to then go and correct them. And I've done something very similar here. I've embedded, in this case, a number of Google Forms. You can see here, this is a Google survey, a Google form, which is like a survey. I've also embedded another form for reading, several forms for reading, and then I've embedded something called a rich internet application, which I'll show you in a second, created out of MSU, Michigan State University, for the speaking. For the listening, I've combined an MP3 file with another survey form. And then the written is simply writing. It's not really done in the wiki, although it could be. If I wanted them to type, which would certainly be an option for other foreign languages, not as good an option in this case for Chinese because of characters, but also an option I could have them type in here as well. So first, I want to show you, this is what the form looks like. So this is what a form in Google Forms looks like. Basically, you can put in a title, an explanation, and questions and different question types. And this one is simply for the background survey. Once you've created that form, it becomes a spreadsheet. And all of the information that anybody puts into the form, once they hit submit, will enter into the spreadsheet. So if we go back to the assessment and I say, okay, so I enter my name, James Raleigh, what grade am I going into? I'm going into 9th grade. How many years have studied Chinese? I've studied Chinese for 3 years. Have you studied traditional characters or simplified characters? I studied traditional. The name of the textbook I use, Ni Hao, book 3 up to lesson 7, for example. How many background in Chinese other than your studies? Spent a summer in China studying. And then once I click submit, the response has been recorded, but what the teacher sees is back here, all the information is now filled in. Student's name, grade he's going into, how many years he studied Chinese, name of the textbook, any other information, traditional or simplified character. So as students do this, this spreadsheet would be populated with all of that information. The same would work, by the way, for the reading assessment. So here this reading assessment is also simply another survey where I've put the reading text here in the top of the survey, and then I've put questions that they have to answer. And then when they're done, once again, they would simply hit submit, and it would populate that spreadsheet. I have multiple reading sections here depending upon their level. For the listening section, I used Audacity, which is this wonderful free piece of software you can download that very easily record audio, save it, export it as an MP3. So for example, hi, my name is James Raleigh, and this is your listening comprehension quiz. Hi, my name is James Raleigh, and this is your listening comprehension quiz. And then it's a very simple matter to export it and save it as an MP3. So this file was then also put in the assessment down under the listening. We'll come back to the speaking in a second. So here they just click on this, 上个星期四，我跟3个好朋友在一家中国饭馆吃了。So there's the listening assessment, the listening part, and then beneath they have the Google form, the Google survey, where they enter their answers, and down here press submit when they're done. And once again, I've got 3 choices depending upon their level. And in the same way with the Chinese, the introduction, the background information spreadsheet, the answers will populate the spreadsheet. The third piece of my assessment test is speaking, and this is one of the most compelling pieces. This is, you have to actually say allow here to let the program access your computer, access your video and microphone. Although in this case, I'm going to cover the video because you don't really want to see me while you're listening to this. So this is called conversations, and students put their name in here. So I can put my name, James Raleigh Screencast, and then I log in. And again, the reason you're not seeing, I mean, you can't see me if I take that off there. That's me. But the student would see themselves. And then they click real time, and it's quite cool. They'll get some questions, and they'll have 20 seconds to answer them. So it looks something like this. 你叫什么名字？你今年几岁？我叫洛季，我今年51岁。 I'm actually not going to continue. Oops. I'm not going to continue this, but the idea is that through working through that whole thing, they will create. It will become a Q&A between myself asking the questions and them answering. Now, the program I used is called Rich Internet Applications, and it's this wonderful suite of tools that MSU has created, and it's free because it was created with the U.S. Department of Education grant. They have a number of different tools here. They have an audio Dropbox that you can put on your website and a video Dropbox, and they have handwriting practice and worksheets and wonderful Jeopardy-like quiz program and mashups and just a great combination of tools for the foreign language teacher, and the one I used was Conversations. So I worked with this Conversations program. Now if I pull up the oral placement test, I can see the answers. I can, for example, choose this James test, and then I can just play the responses. 我叫洛季，今年50岁。This is me responding 我家有6个人，有爸爸妈妈，一个姐姐，一个哥哥，一个弟弟和我。我最喜欢看书，每天看。我也喜欢听音乐。I could also play back the entire thing with me asking the questions, and then 你今年几岁？ me answering the questions. So all of the students' answers would come up in here. So again, the idea here is take a bunch of different tools, embed them into a wiki where the students can go with the instructions written there, with the Google surveys, the Google forms embedded, the rich internet application conversations embedded, the MP3s embedded, combined with the Google survey for the listening. And then, as I said, the writing, you could also do this. You could use a Google survey for students to type directly in. In this case, in Chinese, I think a teacher really wants to see a student handwrite the characters, thus that option here. And that's my that's my second innovative use of technology. Thanks for watching.